I know I don't really review a lot of metal in this channel because I don't listen to a lot of it. I do enjoy thrash metal, which this definitely fits the bill of that. Man, so before we get into this review, I've only heard this album one time. I literally just finished it, and I just now heard of this band, and it's just so powerful that I gotta talk about it. Their name is End of Man. They're from the Philippines, and in 2008 they released this thrash metal LP called Power, Corruption, and Lies. And look at this fucking fantastic cover art, this album art. Oh my god. We need to talk about this album art before we even get into the music, because holy fucking shit. It's got so much going on here. My heart's racing. I'm out of breath from just rocking and thrashing to this shit for the last 30 minutes. It's like, Sub 41's got half-hour power released back in 2000, but this is a half-hour power, man. This is the real half-hour power. Woo! Spike Maniego, shout out to him. He didn't play on this because he was a kid around the time, but he's in the band now, and that's actually how we found out about this. So shout out to Spike Maniego. We got the devil or a demon up in the upper left-hand corner, and he's got his. There's a house on fire. Maybe someone died in the house. End of Man. Some nasty demonic shit's going on, and there's a fucking spook heading out to the right. Oh my! I can't even describe this album cover. It's so damn awesome that it yields to describe it. I don't need to fucking describe it. It speaks for itself. Look at this fucking album cover. Like whoever painted that, I want to give you a hug. That was awkward. Whoever painted that, you deserve the best. You're a fucking artistic hero. Whoever painted that album cover, because it is just such a classic. You know what it reminds me of is some 80s or 70s or maybe before that horror film. You know how the old horror films, how they got a cover art like that, they got artwork like that. That's what it reminds me of. It looks like some. As a matter of fact, this is something that I'm at a thrift store somewhere, right? I'm looking through the old VHS tapes and I go over to the laser. This looks like some 1970s, 1980s, just obscure ass laserdisc horror film. End of Man, Power, Corruption, and Lies. That's what that looks like. It looks like if you pop that in your Laserdisc player, you're gonna be blown away and have nightmares for the next 16 years of your fucking life. That's exactly what that album cover states. You got a demon above a burning house with a family pointing at it. Maybe one of their loved ones unfortunately didn't make it out of the house. You got this dude who's down the road from them looking at it like, oh shit, maybe he's the one that set it on fire. Maybe he summoned that demon above there. Who the fuck knows? And then, like I said, you got this little fucking spooked little ghost who's dark. Maybe that ghost is who died in the fucking fire, and he's leaving it. His soul has left his body. This is the most I've ever just talked about an album cover. But I enjoyed this album cover as much as I enjoyed this album. Actually, I kind of enjoyed the album a lot more because it's just fucking obliteration for 30 minutes. Now, unlike most of my album reviews, where I go into depth of each song and analyze and all that, I'm not going to do that because I don't have it memorized, but I don't want to. If I did that to this, it would ruin it. I'm just going to say a few things about a couple songs on here, or just about the entire thing. End of Man, Power, Corruption, and Lies. We got a 30-minute, half-hour power. It's thrash metal. There's blast beat drums. There's melodic vocals. There's some slower parts, like in the end of Hate Attrition. Hate Attrition's my favorite song on this. I like Questioning, the first song, but Hate Attrition is definitely my favorite song on this because of its blast beat. There's some Castlevania levels of just, you play Castlevania on the Nintendo Entertainment System, right? You know that MIDI music, that music in that? There's a couple guitar solos in Hate Attrition that remind me of Castlevania. And not just that, but the album art also has a Castlevania vibe to it. I've never been reminded of Castlevania by a metal album before. And yes, I mean the classic ones, as I haven't played any of the newer Castlevanias. But yeah, it's got a real Castlevania vibe going, and that's awesome. It's straight horror. This isn't, just thrash metal. This isn't just thrash hardcore, whatever. This has got some demonic horror feel to it, which is fucking fantastic. I love it. I was seriously sweating and just rocking around my house, just going berserk over this shit. Wish I would have filmed myself doing it, because goddamn, I had a good time. But yeah, there's 8 tracks on this. There's Questioning, Depression and Suicide, Power, Corruption and Lies, Hate, Attrition, which is my favorite track, as I said, Blood, Betrayal, Pit of Death, and I'm gonna pronounce this incorrectly, and my sincerest apologies. Pagkagat Nung Dilim translates to biting the dark. And definitely, this entire album bites the dark. It bites the dark and spits it right in. No, it doesn't spit it in your face. It bites the dark, chews it up, and just spews flames into your face. Or in this case, it spits flames into a house and burns it to the fucking ground. Yours is next. Yeah, this is gonna cause a global. This album is going to cause a global fucking wildfire. It's going to burn the entire planet to the ground. So kiss your ass goodbye. End of man, motherfuckers. I'm just so shooken up by this. It's not that often that I hear a metal album that just. I haven't enjoyed it. I told Spike this. I haven't enjoyed a metal album this much in so long. I really haven't. It's been a long fucking time since I've actually just rocked out this hard to something. Which my buddy Spike, he's played in the back. I don't know about the back of Ghost Signals, Throw is Aldi Malanta's 2000s band. He still plays. I've talked about them on this channel. But yeah, this album is just full of speedy, hardcore blast beat, drums, thrash metal, colorful guitar solos, lots of djenting in there, and on Power, Corruption, and Lies, there's some. I'm gonna make a leftover crack reference right here. I can't do that Stitza scream, but you know that leftover cracks scream, if you've ever heard of them. I can't fucking do it. They got some Stitza screams going on there. Some really high pitch. There's some melodic metal screams, but yeah, some high pitch Stitza. Almost screeches, but it's not to the high frequency of a screech. It's more, just go listen to Leftover Crack to like Atheist Anthem or something like that. They've got a Stitza scream in there multiple times, and every time it happened, my fucking hair just stood up on the back, and I went into cardiac arrest. I went into cardiac arrest probably 15,000 times during this 8-track album. Yeah. I've died that many times. This album killed me 15,000 times because it's just it's so abrasive, it's so powerful, it's just, I can't say enough good things about it. I want it. It released in 2008, and my buddy Spike's gonna try to give me a CD, and and they're apparently working on a new single, and it'll be out at some point, that I'm fucking stoked. Fucking stoked. Power, Corruption, and Lies, yeah, that's definitely a good hardcore blast song with some screaming vocals, and Hate, Attrition's got some melody, like I said, some melodic vocals and some metal screams, classic 80s theme metal screams with some newer, some of that, just some classic vocals. And the album, for those of you, as this is a Filipino band, the album is mostly in English. In fact, I think the only song on here that's got Tagalog is song 8, Biting the Dark. Fuck, I can't pronounce it. Pagkagat Nang Dilim. That song is the only song in Tagalog. I'm not sure. I think the rest of it's in English. So I know a lot of people out there don't like listening to foreign music because I can't understand it. But if you listen to this, it's mostly in English. You'll definitely be able to understand the whole thing, and you won't really need a lyric sheet. I don't have it memorized because I've only listened to it once. So if I would have listened to this maybe 4 or 5 more times, I could probably memorize the songs. But I was just listening to this to enjoy the hell out of it. Good vocals, good guitars, goddamn good drums. I'm a drummer myself. I mean, I'm a noise guitarist, but I love, when I listen to metal music, the biggest things I look for is speed, melodic voice that carries out. I look for shit that stands out. The drums on this are so The patterns are great. They're not generic. They fucking flow. They blast beats several times. They're heavy when they need to be. They're soft when they need to be. They're colorful. They're all over the place. They're creative. The guitar riffs, they're genty. A lot of times they're genty, and then you got some classic renditions in there. The like I said, the metal screams. They got some classic '80s metal. They got some. There's parts of it that do remind me of Metallica when they first started, like on Kill 'Em All. Some of this album reminds me of that, and it's fucking perfect, actually, in my opinion. This album does it better than Kill 'Em All does, and I know I'm gonna get a lot of shit for saying now, but you know what? It's true. I'm gonna leave a link to this in the description below. I could talk about this album for 30 more fucking minutes, and I probably should. I would, but I gotta go get something to eat, because it's like 6:30 in the morning here in the U.S., and I'm hungry! I just spent an entire 30 minutes thrashing and bashing and probably being way too fucking loud, enjoying the living hell out of the End of Man, Power, Corruption, and Lies album. I deserve a feast of blood. I'm not metal. I can't do it. No. Don't worry, I'm not even gonna do it. I don't want to lose all my subscribers. But no, for real, I'm gonna leave a link to this in the description below. Please check it out. It's End of Man, Power, Corruption, and Lies. You'll fucking enjoy every second of it, and if you don't, then you're a fucking... I'm an Akaza. Dos vidania.